Hello, this is a video to show you how to practice the Willow waltz, which is one of the first songs that we're learning in our Vermouche book. So first we always sing and put the pitches onto our body so that we feel the low and the high notes in our bodies before we put it onto the instrument. So if we know this already and can sing along to it with the backing track without the instrument, then there's fewer things to think about as we're actually trying to master the physicality of the instrument. So it's a slower one, this one, and we're going to put D on our tummy, G on our knees, A on our shoulders, and E on our heads. But this one doesn't have an E one. Okay, so I won't put the backing track on now, but you should do this along with backing track. So it goes D, 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 A, D, down to G, G, D, A, D, 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 A, D, G, A, D. Now, we started getting the bow out of the case. Now, for this exercise, we're not actually putting the bow on the string, so it doesn't need to be tightened, okay? Now the bow has the nut here and the tip at this end. Now the bow will go in the right hand goes the nut end, okay? But for the purpose of this video, so that you can mirror me, I'm going to switch it around, okay? So put your bow on your knee, so you just see it in the shot at the moment. So knee with the hair facing towards you. Remember, we don't touch the horsehair. And then we flop out our hands like this, as if we're flicking off raindrops, and let them hang like a bunch of bananas with slightly smiley thumbs, okay? Then we flop the fingers over and the smiley thumbs come and touch the back of the stick. Now I'm holding it, this would be my right hand, where the stick balances, and see if you can find the point where the stick balances. Ooh, when you're holding it really gently. Okay, so this is called your balance point. It's a really magical point of the bow. So the right hand holds really gently at the balance point, and the left hand comes to the other end about the same distance in. I call this the singing point. Okay, so now we're going to air bow. So I'm obviously I'm doing this in reverse, but I'm going to go to the right first, because that would be a down bow or a pull bow. Okay, so if I move back, so I've got a bit of space, and I'm going to bow about where on my body the piece goes. So we'd have, and feet sort of apart, knees bent, so we're going to do lovely swishes. So it goes D, 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 up to the shoulders, A, back to the tummy, D, down to the knees, G, back to the tummy, D, up to the shoulders, A, D, 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 A, D, G, up to the shoulders, A, D. And the weight of the bow should just feel really nice and floppy. Keep the elbows moving. Everything should just be really fluid and relaxed. We also did an exercise where we moved the bow to a backing track of Harry Potter. Any sort of flowy music you want to find to a bit of bow dancing is a really good thing. It just gets the children used to the weight of the bow in their hands in a really fluid way. Okay, now once we've had a go at that, then we can have a go at playing in looking position. So we put our hands on the shoulders, our fingers are ready to pluck the strings. Remember, you've got the big thick one is the G, the next one up is the D, next one up is the A, and the tiny one is the E. Okay, so we don't need the E string for this, but we need the other two. So off we go, D, sh, D, sh, D, sh, A, D, Now it's a nice slow relax. You notice how I'm sort of waggling my elbows, letting my heavy arms, relaxed heavy arms are a really great thing to get sort of sorted right from the start. Okay, so that's as far as we've gone so far, but I have done a video for putting your violin on your violin shelf. Okay, I'm going to be playing on the correct side for me, so I'm holding it in my left hand and putting it onto my left shelf. So remember, it's left hand, left side, so it will be mirror image in this one. Okay, so you can get to this point this week, or you can go next week once we cover it in lessons. So we hold it with our left hand on the neck, we put the hand on the button with the bottom button, and we swish up into the sky, turn the violin round so we can just glance at the button, and then we keep feet hip width apart, knees bent, and we bring down onto our collarbone without pulling away or moving. So down it comes and rests like a bird perching onto a tree. The tree doesn't move out the way for the bird. Okay, and then we need to have our thumb underneath the back of the neck here and just sort of waggle the arm, make sure everything's loose and unlocked. Okay, and then we're going to just give a bit more security by tapping the fingers on here and holding it, but it's not a solid grip, otherwise that locks the shoulder. Just a loose sort of hold here. So then we wave with the right hand. Give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. We're going to zip to the edge of the fingerboard, okay, and then finger up, and we're just going to do some rainbow bows. So rainbow plucks. Notice that my elbow, my wrist and my knuckles are pretty much in line, and they're working as a team to bring the finger to all the levels. We're not doing this with just the finger. The finger is like a little bridge, and the elbow brings it. Okay, that's really important, that elbow level for bowing later on. Okay, so now we're going to do our willow waltz in playing position, but we're going to do a little extra waggle to make sure that our shoulders are nice and loose. So it goes off we go, D, waggle, waggle, D, waggle, waggle, D, waggle, waggle, A, waggle, waggle, D, waggle, waggle, G, waggle, waggle, D, waggle, waggle, A, waggle, waggle, D, waggle, waggle, D, waggle, waggle, D, waggle, waggle, A, waggle, waggle, D, waggle, down to G. I notice I bring my elbow right up for the G string and down for the A string, my elbow levels. Hold the violin by the neck, put this hand to help it come back down again, and then we hold our arm here, being careful of the bridge, and go back into rest position. Right, have fun. Enjoy doing it with the backing track. I just haven't put it on today so that you can hear me singing and talking.